Do you know how many times I've flown my drone since we've been on this trip?
0.
Technically once. Technically once in Pigeon Forge or Sevierville. Sevierville.
Yes. Okay, you're right.
That's Sevierville?
Where we stayed in the bus.
And, we were going to try to fly it a few other times, but it was in a restricted area, so we didn't have authorization. I wanted to fly it at Glacier. And so this is similar to Carnival cruise ship, because I brought the drone. I was like, I want to drone the ship and different things like that. And you're not allowed to bring drones on the ship.
Nope.
I found that out before we decided to get on the boat, so I left the drone in the car. And I wanted to drone here at West Glacier, and I wanted to drone at Grand Teton when we get there. I wanted to drone, and that's not allowed either. That's not allowed either. So apparently, it's a ban against drones by the National Park Service. Maximum 6 months in jail, $5,000 fine.
For showing people how pretty the park is, or for showing them things they want hidden that they don't want people to see. Like, why would you go to jail for showing somebody how gorgeous the country is?
The NPS is a federal government agency within the U.S. Department of the Interior that manages some 423 sites, including national parks, most national monuments, and other natural, historical, and recreational properties. In June of 2014, the agency issued a policy memo prohibiting the launching, landing, and operation of drones on the lands and waters that it administers. This was done for several reasons.
This was done in what? When
2014.
I was about to say, if it was lately, I thought maybe because of those little Chinese flying balloons, they were probably like, nope, can't do that anymore, just in case.
This is done for several reasons. There were instances where recreational drone use had resulted in noise and nuisance complaints from park visitors. And we understand how park visitors can be real sensitive to noise.
Well, because the drone's so far up that you can't hear it would really be annoying. I mean, if the drone is dropping down above your head, that's a completely different story.
There were concerns for park visitors' safety, and in one documented incident, park wildlife was found to have been harassed. The wildlife.
I can understand that, though. I can understand that.
Do you think they surveyed the wildlife? Like, have you been harassed by a drone lately?
No, they probably just look for little angry herds of animals and try to figure out what set off the ruckus.
Or they just watch the video.
Or they just watch the videos.
They Google. They go on YouTube and they're looking up drone footage from West Glacier.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's just a drone chasing a bear. But either way, I can't fly my drone. Side note, I need to charge the batteries. I only have one full battery. But also, I don't want to, go to jail for flying a drone and having to pay $5. We've already paid enough as it is just to stay here and wait for tires, which bad news yesterday, good news today. We'll see what happens. We got about 2.5 hours before D-Day or T-0. Maybe we'll be on our way out of here soon. But here's something even more shocking. You ready for this one?
I am. Hey, there's a place called Squirrel in Wyoming.
Squirrel, Wyoming.
I feel like that's where we should stay.
Somebody asked if we were going to go to Cody, Wyoming. I don't know why. What's in Cody?
I don't know, but that was one that has a KOA, but it's a journey, not a holiday.
So, insurance companies, what's going on with the insurance companies?
What's going on with the insurance companies? They are dropping people or moving out completely out of states because of flooding and stuff, like having to pay out the flood insurance.
I think they said Citizens is now up to 1.7 million policies in Florida because everybody's left. Mm-hmm. But get this, it gets better.
Okay.
Or worse. I'm not really sure how you want to look at this. Insurance company, according to ABC7, drops customer saying a drone took photos of clutter in their yard.
So why can they drone over your personal property, but you can't drone over theirs? Because I'm pretty sure if you went over their property, they'd sue you.
So this is in California. It says just as wildlife season gets underway, homeowners insurance is becoming more and more scarce. Similar to Florida and the insurance companies pulling out because of flooding and hurricanes, and quite possibly similar to other parts of the country that are probably going to see some insurance companies pulling out in New York, Vermont, New Jersey, and Illinois, in North Carolina. They're like, we don't want to pay for tornado damage.
Yeah.
So Pfizer had their facility just blown away by this EF3 tornado, which ultimately, in my opinion, is going to create a scarcity of the supplies that the medical supplies that they would produce there.
For sure.
It's going to create a scarcity. It's going to increase the cost for any other supplies that remain because they're going to be limited supply and demand. We've been through this, folks, remember, not too long ago. And additionally, we may see the introduction of variances and substitutions.
That's the problem there, the substitution, when they don't tell you what they're substituting in your drugs. That could literally kill you. Same thing with foods, because you never know what you're allergic to.
But as these natural disasters occur, air quote, natural disasters occur, insurance companies are saying, hey, wait. We only said we were an insurance company. We really just wanted the money. We don't want to actually insure anything. So I'm gonna start calling them insurance companies. They're insurance companies. But either way, California may be next with wildfires and insurance companies pulling out. And it says that just as wildfire season gets underway, homeowners insurance is becoming more and more scarce. Some companies aren't writing any new policies, while others are dropping longtime customers. Among them is an East Bay man who was told he lost his insurance based on photos taken by a drone over his property. It came as a shock. At first, he was told he'd lost his insurance because drone photos taken over his property showed hazards in his yard, but the company would not show him the pictures. Later, he was told there was no drone, just aerial photos. He felt it intruded on his privacy with no way to reinstate his policy.
Couple questions. How the hell do they expect to get aerial photos without drones?
Selfie stick. I've got the selfie stick.
So you found a 150-foot tall minimum selfie stick? No. Maybe from an airplane. Either way. Because you know they always say that there's airplanes that are flying over monitoring your speed and stuff.
So he says that the drones sometimes fly over his house. And he never thought much of it until now. Apparently they have some pictures and they noticed clutter, is what he said. Now, the drones...
Clutter being
the drones have been flying over people's houses, right?
We used to see it even in Georgia.
Let's think about it like this, right?
Okay.
Drones. Walmart. Right?
Okay.
Walmart is going to start making deliveries by drone. We know that.
Yes.
But we also know that Walmart is looking to drive revenue and increase profit. Not by selling products, but by selling data, customer data, allowing other companies, third-party companies to advertise on their website, offering their distribution channels to other companies. Why wouldn't Walmart introduce video recording data in their drone delivery for sale to other companies like insurance companies?
Well, especially because you got to think about it when you sign up for these things and you check that little box that says you read the 85 pages of stuff on page 82 and a half where it said when we're droning over and we record everything, we have the right to sell it. You're going to miss that on page 82
That's
and a half.
like,
And you're going to sign off yes.
Fargo, 18 and a half Street.
Yeah. But that's what's going to happen. You sign yes, like same thing when you download an app. You just automatically hit accept and not realizing it says, hey, we have the ability to turn on your camera and microphone whenever we want. We can check all your stuff.
That is to think. We've seen these Insta360s and these other cameras, like they shoot 360 like everywhere.
Yeah.
And somehow have the ability to then like take that footage. And it's like literally you can look anywhere at any time in the video. Kind of like that movie with Denzel Washington where he went back in time.
Deja Vu. Love that movie.
And he could like manipulate the past.
Yeah.
Which was really weird.
Yeah.
So these cameras, and actually they have it at like College Football Hall of Fame and I think the National Football Hall of Fame in Ohio too. And you get inside this rig and you're in the game and you can literally see anything and everything in real time or at that real time because the camera's shooting everything.
Like VR.
So why would we not think that Walmart's not going to do the same with their drones? to protect their drones, to protect their deliveries for security reasons and tracking purposes. But then they also have that data. They have that footage. They could sell it to Google. They could sell it to Google Maps. They could sell it to...
I was going to say Google Maps drives around all day long, so that you could just pull that up from Google Maps. They don't even need to drone most places.
But then you can add that on top of it because Google Maps is getting like...
Yeah.
But even then, Google Maps is kind of strange. Which,
Yeah.
how does Google Maps shoot everything? And there's only like a super small percentage of Google Map images that actually show people. How do they pull that off? How do they get rid of all the people?
Sounds like the question the government's asking.
Is this the beginning of what Kamala Harris was talking about with this depopulation?
Yeah.
Where she let it slip. She let the
Instead
secret.
of pollution,
She spilled the beans.
Yeah.
Google's already getting rid of people.
Yeah.
But I would think that Walmart would double dip on the drone,
Oh, yeah.
have the footage,
Oh, yes.
and be able to sell it to the highest bidder.
Yes.
Insurance companies, definitely worth it.
Yes.
Apparently, they have some photos that noticed clutter in his backyard, is what he said. And he was shocked when he got this notice from his longtime home insurance carrier, California State Automobile Association, CSAA Insurance Group, which is a AAA insurer. And they're going to be terminating our homeowners insurance policy, is what he said.
As opposed to, hey, we've noticed this, you have this amount of time to clean it up so you can keep your insurance.
My guess.
Okay.
They noticed it, and they didn't cancel his policy. It's my guess.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
They noticed it, and they didn't terminate his policy.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. Then what is this all about?
Oh, they noticed it, and then they waited. And then they noticed it again. And then they noticed some changes. And they, much like Walmart, are building up this database of facial recognition and customer tracking. Walmart's doing it to build a case so that they have enough of a high enough value of theft to charge you.
Yeah.
Well, the insurance company's not going to do it off of one. They're going to continuously track and see how you operate and behave to really get a better understanding of how risky a policyholder you are. So they don't just do it once. They continuously fly. They see the clutter. They see added clutter. They see some other activity before they say, pull the plug.
Well, you're still not risky then if you've never had to file a claim.
True. But if you recall, maybe when we were getting homeowners insurance to move to our last house in Georgia, being zoned AG, agricultural, 6 acres, land, the insurance company scheduled an appointment to come
To
walk the
whole
property
to make sure.
to calculate their risk.
True.
The question was, who's going to be in the water? We had a lake back there.
Yeah. Is there going to be a boat or anything in there?
You got 4-wheelers. Who's doing, like,
Yeah.
they
I see a deer
calculate,
stand. Is there going to be shooting?
they calculate the risk.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
We didn't file a claim. They calculate the risk.
But then they priced it based off what they calculated.
True.
Could they not have just upped his insurance policy?
True. That was 3 years ago.
True.
Today's a different day.
Today is a different day. You're right. Today is
3 years ago, the money was still flowing. These insurance companies weren't feeling the pain that they're feeling today. You see what I'm saying?
As a homeowner, couldn't he turn around and sue the insurance company for dropping him for unjust cause? Because one, they never gave him a notice for, why?
Here's the deal. Odds are, most contracts are written in the favor of the
People who make the profits.
people who make the contract.
Yeah.
So they would have a clause in there for termination for... I'm trying to remember the term. I think it's termination. Basically, they can terminate the contract whenever they want.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't.
Yes, that's true.
You can't. You will be charged a fee, if not pay the full price and just lose coverage. They can't. Termination.
I don't know what it's called.
I think it's for cause. I think it's just for cause. I think it's how they phrase it.
For cause.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I think it's termination for cause. and it carries a broad definition, but ultimately it just means that they can do whatever they want. It means they can do whatever they want. And look,
Sounds about right.
Here's the deal. If you really want to, you can spend a lot of time, a lot of money fighting an insurance company that probably has way more time and way more money than you.
Also very true.
Probably has most of the legal system in their back pocket.
I'm actually reading a book. Oh, it's right here. The John Grisham, The Litigators, and it's about that, the big companies.
I mean, it's California. It's California. Do you remember when Meet Kevin tried to run for governor?
And they wouldn't let him because of his name?
They wouldn't let him for a variety of reasons because the opposition had everyone in their back pocket.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
He was the new guy
I'm
to the
just
game,
saying.
so of course they've got everything against him.
Meet Kevin got a lot of money.
Yeah.
He got a lot of money.
Yeah, he does.
But it usually really comes down to, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know. Mm-hmm.
And they knew all the right people.
And this guy knows nobody, obviously.
He knows he's going to need to call another insurance company. That's what he needs to know. Now, he says his house isn't even in a fire zone, and he's never filed a single claim in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, the notice said that CSAA found debris, hazardous conditions, tires, or a dilapidated car in his yard. But how would they know that? No one ever came to inspect. So he called the company. And he says that they said, oh, we sent over a drone. Is what he said they said. And so they have a drone that they sent over his property. Just flew it into my yard. And he was very shocked about that. He says that CSA would not let him see the drone photos nor give him a chance to clear his yard. I guess the old school way would be knock on your door. I guess they don't do that anymore. They send a drone. You know, you'd have to really read the contract. And odds are in the contract, there's clause in there that they could literally probably show up whenever they wanted to.
Probably.
To reevaluate and investigate.
That's like what they do with like, it's a different topic, but like CPS, Child Protective Services, they can just show up whenever they want to make sure that the kids are being taken care of, you're doing the right thing. Because it's in the safety of the kid, and this way the company is thinking it's in the safety of the company to show up whenever.
And when they send out these new terms of service that you have to agree to, that are 1,000 pages long, and you just agree, otherwise you don't have insurance. Within that is
page 82.
It's like, yeah, when I signed it, the first time, but then they sent out this agreement.
The first one was 1 page. The second one was 157 pages. I don't know.
And most of it was in like hieroglyphics.
Yeah, I don't know.
But CSA later told this homeowner it did not use a drone, and the company does not perform surveillance on insured properties using drones.
Then how would they know what's in the yard? So somebody lying. You lying.
Exactly what I was talking about yesterday with this rental car company. Trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
And these employees will typically say anything that they think you want to hear.
Yeah.
To deflect. Avoid a problem. Confrontation. Discussion or debate. Legality. Now, it said it may review proprietary aerial imagery to assess risk, and the company told ABC7 that the images may be captured by fixed-wing airplane or satellite.
See, that's what I said, because remember when we used to drive 316 in Atlanta to get onto 85, there was always that sign on the side of the road that says, speed is being monitored by air traffic control or whatever, aircraft.
It says that the company...
I was always looking for it because aircraft meant drone. It didn't mean airplane.
I guess, here's the thing, though.
Cheryl's locking everybody out of the free
Fixed-wing airplane. Fixed-wing airplane. I get it, my drone. I guess the wings are fixed, technically. But a drone, I would think, is unmanned. So by definition...
It's not an airplane.
Let's see here. Let's see. Drone. Essentially, a drone is a flying robot that can be remotely controlled or fly autonomously using software-controlled flight plans. That could be a fixed-wing plane, just without a pilot sitting in the cockpit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speaking of being controlled by computers, you may not have seen this one where the kid brings his computer to Target, plugs it into the self-checkout, and then hacks the system and changes all the price.
You know how to?
It's like
you got to make sure that doesn't happen. Have employees.
It's like Terminator 2. You remember when he pulled out the keyboard and he plugged it into something? Remember Terminator 2? He had that his buddy had the keyboard.
Yeah.
But also,
Everybody's showing up late for breakfast.
But also, Safeway now has armed security guards in their self-checkout. Safeway.
That's the grocery store. Okay.
So it says we flew our drone to see for ourselves how it looks, and this is the news station. And on a ground level tour, they admit that the yard is cluttered. But they justify it by saying that he's a do-it-yourselfer and a tinkerer. He's restoring a 1966 Chevy, his first car, and he changes his own tires each season. And he installed the solar panels on his roof. It's not dangerous. It's not neglected. We are back there. And using these things is what he says. He says it's a lifestyle, not a hazard. And he complained to the State Department of Insurance, and we were found guilty and punished. No opportunity to mitigate. No arbitration. In a reply, the insurance company said images showed debris that resembles wood and cardboard, a gray truck with debris in the bed, a tan vehicle with debris on top, and that dilapidated car, likely the 66 Chevy he hopes to restore. And he says that I kind of was offended. You know, how dare you judge me for my stuff, is what he said. The company also said it in its reply, while you may have had your insurance with the company for many years, paid your premiums and not filed claims, those factors are not considerations when evaluating property risk. They just said, sorry, you know, we're done. Have a nice day. And he said, I'm like, well, what do? I don't understand. Insurance companies are increasingly using tools like aerial photography to assess the risk on your house. CSAA told the news station that anyone can go online to services like Google Earth 3D to get a good idea of what companies may be looking at when they assess the risk of insuring your home. And as for legality of taking drone pictures over a house, state law only forbids that if you're specifically doing so as a sort of peeping Tom.
So you know where this goes next, right?
Where?
If they're dropping him because he has debris in his backyard, the next thing is anytime they see something wood, let's say you have wood planters in your backyard where you're growing your vegetables and you're growing these things, they're going to call that debris because it's a fire hazard, because it's wood, and they're going to drop you from the insurance. Or the next thing that happens is whatever neighborhood you're in says you can have nothing in your yard. No trampoline for your kids, no swing set because it's wood and it could be hazardous, no plastic one because if there's a fire, the chemicals from that plastic is hazardous to your neighbors.
And California is super strict on like their laws against plastic and carcinogens.
So that's what I'm saying. This is just step one in ensuring that every home is this cookie cutter, nothing in the front yard, nothing in the backyard.
Let me tell you the biggest problem here. The drone, the aerial satellite imagery, fixed wing, aircraft, helicopter, skydiver, I don't know, whatever it was.
Flying squirrel.
Says they got an army of flying squirrels with cameras. They got army of flying squirrels with like little trail cameras attached to their chest.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I guess the real thing is if he decided to go out back in like his birthday suit, then they would be a peeping Tom.
So what you're saying is anytime he wants to go in his backyard, he needs to be naked or just have a naked something back there at all times.
But here's the real big problem. They said that they think they see cardboard and debris and trucks and tires and this, that, and the other. What did we talk about yesterday morning? Or the day before? The days start to run together.
Have you met my brain?
We talked about what people thought they saw.
That was incorrect.
On my titles and thumbnails that were never there.
Well, I also talk about all the time of you can Photoshop, CGI, alter anything you want to make it look like it's what it's supposed to look like. And you think these companies don't have the ability to do that? We want that house, we want that land, so well, here's what we do. Or we want that person gone. We want to be able to move out this entire neighborhood to move this in, so we're going to cut the insurance for this entire row of people on the street because of this, and this in their yard. Doesn't have it? We'll add it in. It's not a big deal. They can't afford insurance, they have, or they don't have insurance, but they have mortgage payments that require insurance, but now they can't pay their mortgage because they're against the laws of their mortgage, and then they take everything.
Shoot, what happens when they're like, oh, we're insuring this house for 2 people living here, but we see 4 cars in the driveway?
Without asking. I got 2 cars. There you go.
We're going to jack up your rate.
Yeah.
We're going to jack up your premium.
Yeah.
I bet you're going to see a lot of drones flying over Mayfield, Kentucky.
I was looking at that. They were just showing in Phoenix the homeless camps and people trying to go give them water because it's 118 degrees there. That's what I was looking at while you were just talking, because
Phoenix had a record like 19 days over 110 degrees. Mm-hmm. Look, the insurance is going to be the crux. That's going to be the rub, that ultimately insurance is what's going to destroy the housing market, okay? Mm-hmm. It's not housing prices, it's not interest rates, it's not shortage of inventory, it's not affordability. Insurance is going to destroy
everything,
the housing market.
And I've already said that's the plan. They don't want you to own anything. They want you to
Insurance
rent.
is going to destroy the housing market, right? And let's give them a little sneak peek.
I was about to say, the same person is behind all of it.
We got to run because you got to start washing clothes.
And then we need to get ready for when the tire does come in.
Yeah, the tire's appointment. You got to do laundry. But just a quick search, and we see here that, actually, I'm just going to show this to you guys.
This is something I'm going to dig into for you.
So y'all can see this, okay? You see what that says there? It says,
I've said since day one of my gym.
It says State Farm. It says State Farm Insurance and BlackRock